Okay, so for all the members of Adventist preaching, I wanted to share this concept with you guys and ask a question for your perspective. This is kind of like a group discussion. I've been reading the book Nothing But the Best by Dr. Hyvet Williams, and it's just talking about the three voices in when we're preaching. First, we have the biblical text. Second, we have the voice of the pastor. Third, we have the voice of the congregation. Now, when we are standing with the congregation under the word of God, it's better than rather than being opposite the congregation, armed with the word of God. Because what happens is, and I'll draw this out to kind of visualize, this is saying sometimes we have situations when we are preaching and we have the pastor on one side, pastor, okay. Second, we have the biblical text. So these are the two voices, the pastor and the biblical text, and then you have over here the congregation. Congregation. Okay. Now, this is saying this is the wrong way, a wrong approach, and this is what I would like your advice on. You have the pastor teaming up with the biblical text to go against the congregation. Okay? So now he's going against congregation. And what happens in this situation, the effect, it usually equals the congregation feeling like a hostile, resistant, if I can spell that would be good. Resistant, okay? Outsider, you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys know how to spell that. Okay, so now we have on one side, when the pastor teams up with the biblical text to go against the congregation, it results in the congregation feeling like a hostile, resistant outsider. But they're saying the correct approach is when the pastor stands with the congregation side by side, and what they're doing now is let's say they're accepting, I'm using this to say accepting word of God in love, obedience, and letting, this is the important part, letting the radical word of God offend both. And these concepts, like and this is quoted from Notes of Tisdale. Okay, what's the difference between, if we put verses, what's the difference between these two concepts? The pastor and standing aside the biblical text going against the congregation, or the pastor standing beside the congregation, accepting the word of God in love, obedience, letting the radical word of God offend both. What's the difference between these two concepts? Please explain in the comments below.